Gold's on a run. I think it's going to push up still quite a bit higher. In fact, if we take a look at the charts, and gold is on a breakout. So gold has gone through a series of stair-stepping price actions higher. So we've had rally and pause and a series of these big rallies and pauses. And now we're starting at the next rally phase. And just based on the momentum here, and if we use Fibonacci extension, which is one of my favorite technical tools, we can get a gauge of how strong this upward momentum is, where price should pause, where it should hit the next key target. And so we can figure that out by understanding how strong this last rally was, the strength of the pullback that we saw back in November. And then we can project that forward to where we think that price, or where price is now. And so more or less, there's two key levels when we look at gold and using Fibonacci extension. And the first one here is a 618, meaning 61% of this rally that we saw previously is going to be the first area where it starts to chop around and struggle a little bit. It hit that price level 2 days, had some big pullbacks from that level. Now it's kind of broken above it. It came back down and tested this level. And that is a good sign. When something shows a little hiccup on the chart at the 618, we almost always go up and hit the one level, which is 100% measured move, meaning the strength of the first rally will be the same percentage-wise or same move on the second rally. And so that is where we're headed. That brings us to about 3,050 for gold. And so we still have some pretty good upside potential from where we are. That is about a 5.5–6% move. And gold to me is kind of the ultimate play at this point. When we're in a late stage of a stock market, where I think the stock market and the economy getting very close to a top, this is when we see gold come to life. And gold has been rallying and leading the way for the past year or so, just kind of flying higher. And so this is a good sign. The more gold moves up, it actually tells us we're getting, I think, closer to an economic reset, a financial reset. And gold is kind of that global barometer where everyone around the world sees it as a way to store value and to get out of the stock market, to get out of real estate, and to keep your money out of the banking system because they could go bankrupt. And that's why physical gold, I think, is doing well, is because people are they're preparing for what could be another big, market correction. And there's a lot going on with big money or big gold, physical gold moving to the States. I think that's got people rattled as well. So I like gold. I like it more than everything else in the precious metal space. I like it much more than silver. I like it a lot more than miners. To me, gold, physical gold is the play right now. The markets are somewhat rigged, right? And there's a lot of manipulation going on. And there's a million conspiracy theories around pretty much everything, especially in the United States and around gold. So I don't know how to gauge it. I try not to go too deep because it's a dark rabbit hole and it can consume you. All I know is it seems kind of fishy, and I think it means something's coming down the line that we don't know, whether it's tariffs or something to do with gold or currency, or I don't know. But I think it's all we need to know is it's a warning sign that there's something going on. The U.S. wants gold, physical gold, in their country, and to me it's a warning sign, meaning something's up, and you've got to own gold. So I'm not sure how to really look at it other than people want their physical gold, and because they believe something, they don't trust it where it is now, or they want it in their hands. I just saw a report on it saying that the U.S. has called a ton of gold from the U.K. reserves, like London or something, and London's like completely empty. They can't even get delivery of gold. So I mean, I don't know the fine details. I don't dive too deep into it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And it seems to be a big thing. So I think it's the United States themselves bringing physical gold over to store it. So I don't know what it's about. All I know is there's a lot of physical gold shuffling around, and countries are loading up on it, not so much the individuals, as you said. And so I think that just goes to show if leaders in countries are starting to stockpile it and reshuffle it around so it's on their own ground, that is a sign that I think they see chaos coming. And I mean, the perfect example for the power of precious metals is a few years ago, we had the internet go down in Canada. Now, there's only like a handful, like 5 internet providers, and Rogers, the biggest one, pretty much powers almost everywhere in Canada. It went down, and I had to go in town to find internet so I could do a morning report for my subscribers. And you couldn't do anything because the internet was down. And a guy came up to me, he goes, Chris, you wouldn't believe it. He goes, I just filled my car up with gas with 2 silver rounds. And it's funny because as soon as the internet goes down, the only thing that has value, or the only 2 things that kind of have value, is like physical metals, because you can't use the internet, and then like obviously weapons, force, Bitcoin, crypto. None of that stuff works when the internet goes down. And I would think we're going to be more so if war and difficult times ever hit. I mean, the internet's probably going to have problems. We're going to have like power outages. We're going to see all kinds of, who knows, EMPs, electronic magnetic pulses, all of these things. So physical metal is such like the old barbaric way of storing value. Like all I think is like horses and castles, right? But it really is the ultimate thing. When push comes to shove, gold and guns is really where it's at. Silver over the last couple of years here, from 2023 on, it's had a really nice move. As you mentioned, yeah, it's similar. It's had a series of kind of rallies and pauses. We've had a rally up, a big pause, another rally. We're kind of in a big pause. Now, silver is a lot more volatile. It's a noisier, it's an uglier chart. It works well when you're on the right side and it takes off, but it's a chart that will shake you up. If you're a short-term trader, trying to get in and out of precious metals, silver make you pull your hair out, but it does perform exceptionally well. Gold typically kind of leads the way, and then we'll see silver kind of kick in, usually a little bit later. Now, when we zoom out, obviously on silver long term, it's nowhere near the highs that we've seen in the past. It has definitely turned a corner. It was out of favor for a very long time, and really 2020 is when it kind of came to life. It's carved out a bottom, and it's building a launch pad to go higher. I think we could see silver go back up to about 35, maybe even like 37 and a half, somewhere in there potentially over the next month or so. But overall, it is a real volatile one. I think the safer play is gold, simply because I do think we're going to eventually get into a market reset, a financial reset, and I do think we'll see precious metals get into a little bit of selling, and gold will hold up way better than silver. So I think from an investor standpoint, gold is the play to be in. It has upside. It's going to hold its value a lot better. And then if and when, which I think it's more so when we have a market financial reset, then everything's going to reprice a bit. Silver is very volatile, so it will actually correct severely. It could be 30, 40, 50, 60%, like it did in 2008. And then you've already, gold will hold its value a lot better, but then you can invest in silver and accumulate and start stacking it at a really good rate. So to me, with what's going on in the world, I think gold's going to hold up the best, has more upside and a lot less downside. And silver becomes the investment later when it's more or less feels like it's on sale at a sharp discount.